So, USA versus Europe intelligence by Geopold. That's what I'm reacting today as a European. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Let's go. And like always, go show some love to the original by liking and subscribing. I put the link in the description down below. But here we go.
If you've been on the internet in the last 2 years, you've probably come across videos like these.
Can you name any country on this map?
I bet she cannot.
Yeah. Africa?
What country did the Vietnam War happen in?
Can you name a country on this map?
Asia or Africa?
That's a continent.
Oh.
So where's Jamaica? Yeah, somewhere around like here.
So what's the deal?
It tells a lot that them guessing that Jamaica is in Africa was the least stupidest thing said in any of those examples.
Is really the ignorant dum-dums the internet presents them as? Or is this just a case of stereotyping and nitpicking for clout? Well, firstly, I want to...
Well, stereotypes, they are stereotypes. But they always have some base in truth. I'm not saying all Americans are stupid, I'm just saying.
make it very clear. I've met many Brits who couldn't name shit about European, American, or just the world's general history.
I've said this before, I lived in UK for a little bit, few years ago. There are a few people who ask very intelligent questions about me as a Finn, or about like Finland in general. But there were also people who knew nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, I don't even know if they knew where Finland is on the map. I didn't even want to ask. I guess what I'm trying to say with UK and US is that, well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Same with geography. I'd bargain that most UK citizens couldn't point out North Macedonia on a map. And like, I'd say at least 30...
Probably even most Finns couldn't, I'll be honest. Europeans like to banter about US and their knowledge in geography, but small percentage of all the Europeans can actually name all the European countries. But the same goes to Americans, to be fair. Like, most Americans couldn't pinpoint all US states either, or even name all the US states. I mean, there's a reason why they even had that episode in Friends about them not being able to name all the 50 states. Anyways, that's my rant number 1 for today. Let's continue.
% of Europeans don't know what Idaho is. That being said, I would
like to think most of them know what it is. Maybe not where it is, but I would like to think most of them know what it is. But yeah, he's probably right.
If I was out here paying them Louisiana tax brackets, I would probably dick ride my country as well. However, this low, if you're poor, you're stuck going to a public school, which might be fine in some states, but like, bruh.
Point of view, learning you had to attend Louisiana public school, a fate worse than death. Why Louisiana? What is it about Louisiana? I'm intrigued. But yeah, this is exactly what I've heard from Americans that I know as well. So some states have it pretty decent, and some states just don't teach you like anything at all, basically. Especially when it comes to geography or history. They just don't care. Which is super weird. Personally, I think government should dictate what the schools teach you. At least to some extent. The most important things, the government should dictate what they have to teach, at least. Like, as a bare minimum. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. But I've also heard that some private schools are awful in US as well. So, I guess it depends just on the school. Whew. This video has gone like 1.5 minutes and I've been recording for 15 minutes. So I'm probably gonna have to cut quite a bit of that. But anyways, let's continue. Oh,
you coming to school, you had a huge zip.
Most normal motherfucker after going through the Louisiana public education system.
That thing was heavy. Some of them, dude, I had acne so bad one time. I remember having one zit. It was kind of heavy on the side of my face. Like, damn, I couldn't even. I had to have one of my buddies kind of just pull down on my other ear, you know, just to keep. I don't think that's acne. You probably should have seen doctor, but you know, you live in the US, so you cannot afford one. Not funny. Hi guys. But why Louisiana? I don't keep my head.
Why Louisiana?
I had that heavy Z, baby.
I am interested to know why Louisiana.
ZD on my side. I was fully Italian. That, you know, that little bust lump, that acne, that.
And obviously, bad public schooling only affects a certain fraction of the American population. But I feel like it's this fraction of Americans that Europeans make fun of, call stupid, and stereotype as the entire country. Those inbred fucking brainless hillbillies running around like animals with their machine guns and freedom.
Most of the videos what I see about like Americans being bad at school, most of them easily come from California and Los Angeles. So that's not really the American South hillbilly, is it? So I don't know. I don't know if it's just the South that's poorly educated. I wouldn't say that.
They seem pretty normal. Why can none of them tell me where Asia is on a map?
That would be Asia.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's Africa.
Exactly.
Why can none of them seem to grasp the concept of a country?
What country is the Queen of England from?
What is the country again?
What is a country? What is a country? I've lost my faith in humanity. How is this possible? How are we still alive? And how long will we be still alive? That is the question. And now I can get my camera back. But good to know that me and Geopold are on the same page. I kind of misunderstood him before. Definitely not just the South that's miseducated
These
there.
videos being relatively nitpicked. I think the main reason for Americans' general ignorance about other countries and cultures kind of comes down to how the American media presents the rest of the world to Americans.
Yeah, American media and just the culture itself. Like, I've talked to a lot of Americans and they just don't seem to like care. And I think they're almost like taught to not care about other countries because like they don't matter because we are the center of the world kind of attitude. It's not that they specifically think that they are center of the world. It's just they are kind of like taught to not like even think about other countries.
American film studios can simply make so much more money
that
if they
kinda
make
hurt.
foreign things seem more familiar to an American audience. I guess it makes it easier to understand and buy into and be invested in, you know? For example, I bet Mamma Mia would have flopped if they had bulky, hairy Greek actors with thick Greek accents as opposed to the chiseled white American Hollywood celebrities they casted. It's set in fucking Greece. Not a word of Greek is spoken in the entire film. I mean, they even dub over all the original songs, which are sung with Swedish accents, with relatable American sounding voices, you know?
Yep.
And
I guess that's what they're calling the American whitewashing in movies and stuff like that. I gotta say, it is definitely real.
surprise, surprise, it became the 6th highest grossing film in the US. If they kept this film Swedish and Greek, they would have sold 0 copies, I'm telling you. This intentional America washing
That's
of
true.
foreign cultures is all throughout Hollywood. Whenever a film is set abroad, the main character still has an American accent. I mean, they even make foreign actors change their voices, even if their American accents are horrible.
What's up with that boy? I heard he was out the game. Where you been at? You got heat?
I guess because it would be so catastrophic for the film studio's revenue if there was a strand of foreign culture in there.
I think it's because that they think or they know that huge percentage of Americans wouldn't understand what they're saying if they're speaking with a different accent, for example, like British accent or Australian accent. Like, there's a percentage of Americans that wouldn't understand that it's even English at that point, which is crazy to me. But I don't know, maybe their English comprehension is worse than mine, even though it's not even my first language.
At blockbuster productions. This very subtle brainwashing has big consequences for the average American though. For example, less than 40% of them have a valid passport. Partly because if you don't see any value or have never been taught anything about foreign cultures, why would you leave the US? We got every single natural landscape you could ever imagine. We got every goddamn fast food establishment you could ever...
I almost went to Max last week when I was visiting Sweden, but ended up going to a local Pokeball place, but I don't know why I said that, but anyways.
establishment you could ever dream of. We got every culture
Italians,
here already.
actual
We
Italians,
got every
oh no.
historical site and element you could ever fathom. The difference with us Europeans, aside from on average having more well-funded public schools, is that we literally need to know about foreign cultures because chances are the weather gets so peak at some point in the year that you need to annually travel to another country briefly just to find your will to live and survive another year.
Oh my god, you cannot understand how much I relate to that as a Finn. The winter seasonal depression is real. It's finally getting sunny outside. It's over 10 degrees Celsius outside. I am so happy about that. The summer is finally coming. It's the happiest day of the year in Finland. The winter has been a struggle, and it's a struggle every year. If I wouldn't like snowboarding, I don't know what I would do the whole winter. Probably just go into like hibernation or something. I need more money because I want to I just want to move to like Spain during every winter. And then maybe I can come back when it's like too hot in Spain for me during summer. Spend winters in Spain, the European dream.
Americans can just get a flight to the other side of their country. No new language, no new culture, no crazy visa restrictions. It's not that easy if you live in the UK.
Are you saying Brighton is not warm enough during winter? Crazy place to pause.
People are so obsessed with going on holiday because they're all stuck on this cold ass rainy island, and humans actually need vitamin D to survive. This means your average Brit at least looks at a map
on my table right here. It's multivitamin, vitamin E, vitamin C, and bunch of others that I don't even know what they are.
a year when planning the next lad's getaway, which is probably more often than some Americans look at a map. Clearly.
What two countries border the U.S.? What's like the country above us and below us?
South America, North America.
Anyways, that was USA versus Europe intelligence. Hopefully that opened people's eyes. That definitely opened my eyes in saying that me believing in the stereotypes of Americans being kind of dumb are definitely not pointless stereotypes, is all I'm saying. The Europeans need to know geography to point out what we used to own. Some of you, not me though. How can us continental Europeans tell Geopold that we look at Brits the same way that they look at Americans? I wouldn't say the same way, but I see where you're coming from. They are definitely the outsiders of Europe, let's be honest. And not just because they're on the island. I'm sorry all the British people, but kind of true. Okay, that's enough of that today. That's enough of reacting today. Holy.